Okay guys, I'm going to try a scalp. This is another scalp on Nadex. I see a little pullback here. Oh, didn't get filled there. Yeah, okay, now I'm filled. Again, I'm going to move over to my market order. I'm hoping to see an opportunity to exit. Here's my time. I got 2 minutes and 30 some seconds here. The strike that I'm buying is 113.35. Now I'm looking to sell. We're very close to my strike. Again, I'm focused over here. My P&L. I'm going to try to leave at a place I'm comfortable at. If we end up having to hold this puppy to the end, it's very important to, when you're doing these, get in on something that you feel comfortable holding until the end. Got that little pop there. And that was it. Again, about a minute and some change. I'm in the same setup as a previous video. We're starting to move above our red line here. Blue's on the bottom. In a perfect world, blue would be on top. Why am I trading this? This is a new indicator that we've been working on. We call this spot master line, and it's very different. I'm really excited about this indicator, and indicators generally don't excite me very much anymore, but it's kind of different kind of theory that we have moving this indicator here. And so I weigh it, I use it and weigh it pretty strong when I'm looking to develop my bias. And it's very simple. This is the zero line. If I can tell that our price here is moving above the zero line, then I have a positive bias, especially if my other line, that bet would have won, especially if my other line were also above the zero line. I had this line, I just put this line in here, tracking where I had some prior resistance at. So just like with price action, I don't do the indicators versus price action thing. If you've watched a lot of my videos, you know that right here, this when we broke that prior place on the indicator, we were already breaking out. And right here with price action, that's a nice little quick poppy breakout right there. I've done another video, and I traded up as well on that video, and we broke that line. I'm really looking at the market having a bias to the upside. Of course, my crosswalk, which is a really fast indicator, is also giving me that bias to the upside. What we had in the price action that was a challenge was we do have this resistance level here, so that's why we're getting a little bit of a challenge. But again, understanding the market and thinking about market makers, we're not like extraordinarily overbought or anything, because here's our red zone here. and we're kind of really still, we're at the top, so we're trending up, but we're kind of still in no man's land, somewhere in the average swing of the hour. There's our central pivot. We haven't quite made it there, but I'm thinking this is like a magnet number, and so the market makers may want to eventually get us up there so they can capture some of those orders to buy and sell that'll be there in that area. So, a lot going on in my head, but essentially, when price is above both of these lines, it's above the 50 moving average, is above the 50 and above the 100. Price on average is moving up. If I look here, here's my support, here's my resistance, and rather than just using them as perfect examples of where the market will stop or something like that, I'm also using them to say, well, okay, I've got a little grid here. Where am I? Am I closer to down here in this area so the market is selling on the hour, or am I closer to up here in this area so the market is buying? Now, that also with my master line, which is telling me that large institutions are most likely pushing this currency up. They're very close to really having a lot of strong momentum to the upside. If this line here, my yellow line, can get above my zero line as well, I would be even more bullish. And this is a 5-minute chart. So again, like I say all the time in these videos, if you're going to do the 5-minute bets, I know a lot of people, some people will write me and they'll say, oh, I want to do the 5-minute bets. You're going to have to be familiar with pricing, and you're going to have to be able to make decisions very quickly, especially if you're scalping like what you just saw me do there. And or in a perfect world, you would also enter into a bet that you're not uncomfortable holding until the expiry at the price that you got in on. I try and get in the 70s or better, and if I had to hold, that bet would have won. I shot a previous video where if I would have held, that bet would have lost. So that's the reality of trading. That this is an imperfect science, if it is a science at all. But if you're scalping, like what I've been doing in these recent videos, is it really wouldn't matter to me whether the bet wins or the bet doesn't win. What matters a lot to me is my bias. Is my bias accurate? And right now my bias is bullish. Just looking at our crosswalk, how many of these bars do we have down? Just still looking at price action up here. We are still trending up. We're starting to build a base even above that prior resistance area. And that's the end of the hour. Just having traded a lot of these, usually there's some action around the end of the hour as guys on hourly charts are making those decisions and either closing their positions or guys trying to get in early for the next hour. That's all I had, guys. See you guys on the next video. Once again, this is Alfred for Binary Options Tutor.com. Like, share, comment, subscribe. If we've helped you, please help us by sharing this content with others.